Show here on Arise News. Well, it's time now to review headlines on today's newspapers. And doing the honors, the Steve Ayorin Day, we are missing Kayode Komolafe this morning, our ombudsman.
We're missing him, and we'll do all this together, with you three lovely ladies. Anti-lucky.
All right. Serious conversation to have after the show.
Okay. All right, we dive straight into it. We start as always with this day. On Sunday, and the lead story is predictable. It's about COP28 Summit. At COP28, TINUBU commits Nigeria to ending gas flaring, unfolds bold agenda for a greener Nigeria with rollout of 100 electric buses, challenges US, China to do more for Earth, $1 billion new grants mobilized since COP27, says Kerry. That's the former U.S. Secretary of State, isn't it? So, it's all about climate change, and the cover story, the cover picture below, united to tackle climate change. Kenya's President William Ruto, President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President Bola Tinubu, President of Mauritania, and President of Senegal at the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference in Dubai yesterday. If we add that to the story on the window, the Kenyan President Tinubu's removal of petrol subsidy needed for Africa's development, you see that there are different kinds of stories coming from Dubai. And like Ovieteme just told us, you can't even it will be a struggle to cope with the huge number of activities going on at the same time. Of course, not to talk of the huge number of Nigerian delegates at 1,411, all over Dubai, everybody having fun at the same time, discussing climate change. Other stories, outstanding tax liabilities, FRS, OK's waiver on penalties and interest. That story is on page 5 of today's this day. So essentially, it's about COP28 Summit. On the cover of this day.
Now, Steve, should we touch on the amount of delegates that were at COP, because it's all over the news at this point. We have talked about the fact that the Nigerian government should emphasize on reduction of spending. Yeah. We're taking a lot of stories about it on what's trending, and Nigerian people are saying that you have asked us to sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Are you going to sacrifice? We did see that video with Ajuri Ngelale taking the lead and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with all of his entourage. What do you make?
Some of his entourage.
Well, some. It appeared, obviously, but it looked like it was all of them, because it is 1,000, right? It did look like 1,000 people marching behind him, and that was the reason for the outrage on social media. Yeah. What is your take on that?
It was a power walk, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did in that video, where we saw a special advisor on media and publicity almost playing the role of the Van Damme, clearing the road for the president and everything, and it was, as they will say, gallivant. I don't have a problem with that power walk. It's just that usually you expect a power walk by a president, by a sitting president in your own territory. The sort of power walk that we had when Donald Trump, held the Bible, left, the White House and went to that church, and came back. It demonstrates security, demonstrates that you are on top, of the situation. But he was in Dubai, possibly moving from the hotel to the venue of the pre-meetings and everything. But, we did touch on the huge number of delegates earlier on. You remember at the beginning of the program. It's something that I believe will trend, for the rest of the week, given the names that, we're seeing on that list. There's even the name of how was it described? Like a confidant, of the president. on that, because there must be a description of.
Have you seen the list?
I've seen the list.
I have not seen the
list. Oh yeah,
it's I saw a list, but it was a picture.
I've seen the list. I've seen the list, and there's a breakdown of the list. How many people from the federal government, from which agencies of government, how many from the state, and from some pictures you have seen the governor of Lagos State there, which is environment commissioner, which will be in order because we are discussing environment. But there are many people. I mean, look at what we had with Vietnam. George, with Gbenga Komolafe, a regulatory body, and all those people behind him forming like a guard of honor, and you are wondering, that's just one agency, of government, and you have all these people just to go and talk, at, a climate change conference. It's not tidy. It's not. Right, it's not.
Adeswa, have you seen the list? And those designations?
Yes, you have stewards, special assistant, executive assistant, technical assistant, confidant, manager. These are the hundreds, in their hundreds. It's a show of shame. I think it's an absolute show of shame. It's, it's kind of like we're becoming a caricature of ourselves. Like people were afraid that this was what was going to happen. That there's government expenditure. We've talked about the size of our ministries and the amount of appointments that we're seeing, and to see this even exported overseas, it's embarrassing. I think it's absolutely embarrassing, and it's unbecoming, I think, of the president to allow himself to be part of this show.
Right, Sheito, have you seen any press statement from the government even trying to defend the fact that they have over 1,000?
They haven't defended it yet, but
this has been trending for almost a day and a half now, 2 days.
I mean, the Nigeria's large delegation is coming at a time of economic difficulties, which is why I understand why Nigerians are groaning, about this. We're looking at, higher fuel prices, inflation, rising food, and then now this. I mean, I was doing my calculation because I was like, okay, 1,411 participants. And apart from the ones that could not squeeze themselves into the presidential jet, we're looking at about almost three plane loads of people that had to go. And there's no direct flight to the UAE now because of the current visa ban that we have. And when you look at that, it comes to a whopping $2,400 for a return ticket from Abuja to Dubai. Now, if you multiply that,
is that economy seat?
I mean, excuse me. If you're going for the delegates, you can't fly economy. I mean, everybody can obviously fly, but that's
that's business class.
Yes, that's business class, and 1,160 for economy. Now, just for that number, we're looking at $2.78 million for flight ticket alone. We're not talking about, accommodation, feeding, all of those little things. So I agree with everyone. I think that's what just really worries me about it. If you like, be 2,000. But I think what it is at this point is, just to play the devil's advocate, is that there hasn't been an official statement saying that the federal government paid for everybody to be there. They're saying that there are some NGOs personal, like you said, confidence, maybe persons that said, okay, I just need to be there for my boss, so I'll spend my own money to be there on the list.
Okay,
yes.
So we'll wait for that press statement, because obviously this is a story that is not going to go away anytime soon. It's a lot. Right. Well, all right. Should we take this day style? If we could pull that up. The cover picture there is His Majesty Ephraim Falohi, OON. He is 80 and thriving. Wow. Born in Port Harcourt in 1943. His Highness is a native of Tuan Brass in Bayelsa State, a man of vision and a staunch advocate for excellence. He has amassed numerous degrees and fellowships, including honorary doctorate degrees in science and technology and finance. Additionally, he holds a senior fellowship with the Institute of Internal Auditors of Nigeria. Steve, I know how much you love to see these types of stories and celebrating. I applaud.
Absolutely. Yes.
And he looks fantastic.
He does look fantastic. Longevity for me is something to
celebrate.
Yes,
Konya was saying that, when she got there, I believe she did the interview, she was stunned by his, embodiment of warmth and vitality. What can we say? Congratulations to him. Congratulations. Happy birthday. And inside the story there, let me just take this, society. It was the Future Face Global dazzling display of talent and style that happened last week. It was a great event because, it was part of bringing these stars back to life. I mean, I love the fact that Eloho, who is a dear friend of mine, is continuing to do this event annually. And, they had 2 winners out of 36,000 applicants. 20 finalists made it to the grand stage. Among them, 2 stars, Jeff Ogimo from Nigeria and Fatu Kebi from Gambia, made the Future Face Global list. Both of them, congratulations to them.
And you were part of...
And I was part of the judges. It was a long selection process, but it was beautiful to watch.
Nice, that's
congratulations to both of them.
Should we quickly look at the nation, Adeswa?
Yes, so the nation, the major story here is silent war in PDP as Atiku governor scheme for control. It says the ex-VP backs Ayu's legal battle to return as chair. Saraki yet to yield to pressure to lead party. Bala Mohammed and other governors plot for 2027.
That should be expected.
Yes.
I mean,
It never stops.
PDP lost an election. The battle will start in earnest from, I believe, from the middle of next year. Because 2026 is almost here. A lot of people want to know where they'll pitch their tent. Will Atiku run again? Will he be influential? Which of the governors with Wike now clearly, openly obnobbing with APC? Which of the other governors, Bala Mohammed and co? Maybe Sheyi Makinde, different people that want to take on the mantle of leadership in PDP. But it would be an interesting development, in the next couple of years.
I think it's particularly interesting. They say Saraki is yet to yield to pressure to lead the party. I wonder why he is staying out of this.
On the currents there.
We have about a minute. Do you want to quickly?
All right, then the Saturday Vanguard. Controversy over alleged Yorubanization agenda rages. That's on page 8. Bello Balashagari says Northerners among Tinubu's government's most powerful people. Says President can't neglect the North. And of course, still on COP28, Tinubu unveiling the vision for green Nigeria. But this urbanization that is coming up, when we look at that statement,
it's a way to point fingers at the number of appointments by the president. That's our Yorubas. The same thing that was said of Buhari when he was there, that it was overly in favor of Northerners. But it's a Yoruba president that is there now, and we can see that there's a Yoruba sort of coloration.
Yoruba coloration.
Yoruba
nation. Analysts have said.
Yoruba nation.
Yoruba nation.
You're not talking of the one of the gentleman that left Cotonou for Germany.
No, we're not talking about that one.
Okay.
So should we take the Guardian quickly, because it's a very important story. Housing deficit. Landlords are driving us crazy. This is the Guardian, and the lead story says housing deficits. Landlords are driving us crazy with rent. Tenants cry out. It's a special feature on the Guardian, and they're talking about how the government can help with cost of building materials, and they should be addressed, and the crisis of the foreign exchange. I wonder what more can be done now to help these tenants at this point.
It's a brilliant report, which is also similar to what the Sunday Tribune has as its own special report. Our Nigerian government kill major businesses, and the rider is very instructive. Experts list double taxation, energy crisis, among others, as the reason. And this is the kind of a thing that people who are close to government, should be reading and looking at, so that you can properly guide and advise the president as to feelers, from the populace. That's from the Tribune. Does anybody remember the TV program in those days, Charlie and Angels? You remember?
Oh, Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
You remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
Where are you going with that story?
I'm going to Steve Angels.
Well, I think we've had a great Sunday with Steve and his angels. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much.
That's a good one. Thank you, ladies. All right, that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
I'm Shaiton Atigari.
I am Adesua Giwa Osage.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. I am Oji Okpe, and from your entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria, enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.